Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Lazim Lazi, I'm from Group H. Today I want to present the secondary air injection system. Next, this is the introduction. Secondary air injection system pump outside air into the exhaust stream so animal fuel can be burned. Next, early system have a bed-driven air pump. Newer aspirated system use the vacuum created by an exhaust pulse to pull air into the pipe. The later system use an electric motor to pump air. This system typically are active during the first 20 to 120 seconds of engine operation by forcing air downstream into the exhaust manifolds to oxidize the hydrocarbon and carbon monoxide created by running H at startup. Next, this is the history. In 1960, aggression were introduced to combat high hydrocarbon and carbon monoxide emission. Next, in 1966, air injection system were introduced, where the Chevrolet first used the air injection system, built its air injection rated setup. In 1980, for most applicant, active secondary air system have been employed. For example, system where air is injected into the hot exhaust gases by a pump.
My name is Muhammadin Rafiq bin Daud. Now I'm presenting the secondary of operation of secondary air injection system. Secondary air injection system which pump air into the engine exhaust system when it is cold. The oxygen content in its air allows the remaining fuel in the exhaust gases to combust, helping reduce emissions and warm up the catalytic converter. According to the component manufacturer payable, over 80% of cars' driving cycle emission typically produced when the vehicle is cold. Two factors contribute to this. The first is rich cold start mixtures, which cause excessive hydrocarbon and carbon monoxide emissions, both resulting from incomplete combustion. The second issue is that the car emission reducing catalytic converter doesn't become effective until it reaches around 300 degrees Celsius. This is conjunction with the rich mixture cause high emission in the initial phase of the driving cycle. To help counter this, manufacturer fit secondary air injection system. This feature an electrically driven air pump that supply fresh air into the injection system, which can be cycled on and off when needed. The air is injection upstream of the catalytic converter, where it can mix with the gas from the engine cylinders. As you can see, there are two pictures. For the left side is the operation working principle of the secondary air injection, from the air filter to the secondary air pump and to the cut off secondary valve, and from the electric switch over EUV and setting the cut off, and then the air go through the cylinder, and the air cylinder from the exhaust system go to the catalytic converter. This system further lowers the hydrocarbon and carbon dioxide values during the cold start phase when the catalytic converter is not yet active. The presence of oxygen containing air in the hot exhaust gas allows for remaining the fuel burning, which help cut hydrocarbon and carbon dioxide emission. For the right picture is in the BMW M3. The red one is the secondary air pump. So they are the place on the.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Iskandar bin Nudin. Today I will continue the slide about advantage and the advantage of a secondary air injector. Okay, first advantage. This secondary air injectors allow fresh air to inject into exhaust system stream. They allow proper combustion of exhaust gas. Second, allow catalytic converter life more longer. Third is utilizing to decrease the hazardous substance emission during cold starting. Fourth, help to be able to protect environment. This reason for this system help to reduce the high quantity of carbon monoxide as well as unburned hydrocarbon during the cold starting. Okay, the advantage of a secondary air injector. In this secondary air injector, valve is a common fail, resulting in exhaust emission, CO especially. Next, when the valve fail, hot exhaust can travel through and destroy the switch valve and air pump. Okay, third, most part exhaust can take away the power for engine. This is because secondary burning of the fuel can counter erection the combustion of the engine. Lastly, this secondary injector is another moving system that occur to power. This power can go to the way. This why secondary injection, some people want to get rid of it. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Aiman Afandi bin Zaki, and today I will explain to you about opinion on the technology for the near future. First of all, use electro-hydraulic pneumatic valve with advanced sensor techniques. Then, it must reduce CO2 and other emissions without loss of performance or economy. Then, the technology also must applicable to any type of internal combustion engine. Then the improvement for technology: first, reduce the power consumption of the valve train. Second, increase the accuracy of valve timing at high speeds. Third, developing temperature resistant sensors. And fourth, decrease the cost of production and catalyst engine. Okay, in my opinion, all the efforts on developing method to reduce the emission is very good, and the R&D needs to be continued to ensure human well-being in the future. Particularly, we need to worry about the emission because near major roadways and in urban area, it always compact with a high concentration vehicle activity. And last but not least, other than that, all of these emission reduction device, I think government also need to set a more forceful public policy action to extend efficiency standards and complementary fiscal policies, ensure manufacturers' real cooperation with policy goals, and support a technological transition to zero emission vehicles. That's all for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Bmma Shafiq bin Junus. I am 4 Bmma 1/2. My matric number is B0910107. And today I would like to present to you guys the principle of the secondary air system. When the cold start, the secondary air pump is switched on to blow fresh air directly behind the exhaust and outlet valve. With the additional oxygen of the secondary air, the unburned hydrogen carbon combust and the reduced amount of unburned hydrocarbons that can escape. Another result is that the additional burning temperature allows the lambda sensor and catalytic converter to warm up and reach the optimum operating temperature more quickly. The system will get deactivated when the lambda sensor reaches the working temperature, or automatically after a maximum of 90 seconds. If the secondary air system fails, vehicle with an OBD system will fail the MOT test. The secondary air system reduces emission and will monitor by the OBD system. If there is an error or the OBD light illuminates indicating that the repair needs to be done. In the most case, damage to the secondary air pump is caused by the exhaust gas condensers in the pump. A common cause can be a stuck secondary air or no return valve, or the end no longer closed completely, allowing exhaust gas condense into the rich secondary pump. Therefore, when replacing the secondary air pump, always check the secondary air valve is functioning correctly. Checking the valve requires a manual inspection and can be done by following this simple process. Disconnect the hose coming from the secondary air pump, put your finger into the valve, and lastly, if your finger becomes dirty, the valve is defects and need to be replaced. Remember, when checking or replacing the secondary air pump, always check the secondary air valve and replace if required. 80% of the car driving cycle emissions are typically produced when the cold starts. Two factors contribute to this. The first is the rich cold start mixture, which is cause excessive hydrocarbon and carbon monoxide emission, both which are results in component combustion. The second issue is that the car emission reducing catalytic converter doesn't become effective until they reach around 300 degrees Celsius. This, in conjunction with the rich mixture, causes the high emission initial phase of the driving cycle. To help encounter this, manufacturers fit secondary air injection system. This features an electrically driven air pump, which can be cycled on and off when needed. That supplies fresh air into the car exhaust system. The air is injected upstream of the catalytic converter, where it can mix with the hot gas from the engine cylinder. The presence of the oxygen containing air in the hot exhaust gas allows of any remaining fuel to continue burning, which is help to cut HO and CO emissions. The reaction takes place of the hydrocarbons to be oxidized into the water and less harmful carbon dioxide, while carbon monoxide is either oxidized into less harmful carbon dioxide. Furthermore, the process increases the temperatures of the exhaust gas. As the gas is hotter, the speed rate which is the catalytic converters warms up. When it is running efficiently, the air injection system can be shut down.